Now we're in Module 5. We've already discussed the importance of industry research, grabbing that, the importance of social proof research, the importance of brain dumping, which is tapping into your personal knowledge about you, yourself, your company, your customers, your product or service, your offer, knowing your market, examining the media, and also your copy's entry point. Some of these we did not go into detail because the questionnaire, the scratchpad, is online for you to use, and I want to make certain that before we continue that you've actually done that. And of course also we talked about the testimonial questions, the 6, 7, 8 testimonial questions that are very important, as well as tying those questions into the $29.9 billion writing secret. So next, what we're going to look at is the $29.9 billion writing secret from the standpoint of writing sales copy, not just writing testimonials. This next section is going to be worthless to you, though, if you have not done the research necessary to complete the other fields in the scratchpad, because it's from that information, that research, answering those questions, that we're going to pull from those fields that data that you've collected to create a loose story structure for your sales copy. And want to make sure I drive home the point that we're not going to use this as is. It's not going to actually be your sales copy, because there's objections that we need to deal with. There's urgency issues, there's offers, there's different things that need to be addressed, but we're going to use this as a loose story structure to give you some type of a baseline of where to start from, and that's what we're using this for. Of course, you could use it as is, take that structure, put it as is, and then just go ahead and interject other elements into it, copywriting elements into it, and then turn it out as sales copy, and it'll work, but it's going to miss some of the elements that you're going to discover later in this course in Module 6 under the section of the sales copy itself. So this is a critical step. I suppose 9 out of 10 people won't actually do it because they're going to want to just jump right down to the sales copy portion, but you really should do this exercise. It's going to make a huge difference when it comes time to trying to draw your readers, your listeners, your viewers into your copy, because now you're presenting a human element to it and not just here's my widget, buy it. So let's go there. $29.9 billion secret. Let's outline a basic story. As we mentioned already, we deal with Act 1, which is presenting the normal world of your prospect's life. Let's use hiring a copywriter as an example for this process. So Act 1, previous to hiring a copywriter, there's one of two situations. Either the company didn't use sales copy, they're brand new and they don't know where to start, or they've been using sales copy in-house, or they've been buying templates off the internet or out of the local bookstore and filling in the blanks and getting dismal results, or maybe getting some results but not going very far in it. And so Act 1, this is a normal world. The normal world for the client is either doing nothing, using templates that don't work so well, or trying to write sales letters in-house without the knowledge of how to write sales copy. And so what we would do is describe what normal life for them would be like for the average customer. We put that here. Create an inciting incident for someone who's writing their own sales copy. It might be they're the chief financial officer, or they're the CEO or the business owner, and all of a sudden they're hit with some type of a debt or bill or a financial problem. They realize they need something that's going to beat what they've been currently doing, because it's just not good enough. Or maybe competition has come into the area in a big way that wasn't there before. Maybe a franchise has set their sights on your business, and the franchise has decided they're going to come in and they're going to just put you out of business. Whatever that inciting incident is, it's caused you enough grief, enough problem, enough headache, or maybe enough embarrassment that you want to get sales copy that works. So now we have an inciting incident. Point of no return. So at the end of this act, usually something is taken away from your protagonist and they never go back to the way things were. They have no choice but to continue into Act 2. So perhaps you had an employee who was fired, and when they left, their last act of rebellion was to sabotage your company by either destroying records or stealing them. So all of your sales letters, your marketing materials, they're gone. Far-fetched, I know, but it does happen. And so you're now at ground zero and you're looking for a way to move forward. That's maybe one very extreme example. A more realistic example might be someone who has to answer to shareholders or to other C-level executives. What you've been doing so far isn't working out, and so you know you can't go back to what you were doing, and so you have to move forward. It's either move forward or you lose your job, or you lose your company, or both. I'm a sci-fi nut. One of my favorite shows right now is the series called Caprica. Well, one of the characters had a situation where he was being forced out of his company, and he received notice that others in the company had lost faith in him, and they had decided that they were going to remove him from the company and take over the company that he himself started. Well, that was one of his worst fears, and it had nearly come true. And so he took action to try to resolve that problem. From writing sales copy, it's the same thing. What happens that stops you from going back to the way things were? What's happening right now that's causing pressures on you because of the choice you did make? So for me, as a copywriter, if I were writing to someone to get them as a client, one of the things I might address as a common scenario is they decided to write their own sales copy, and it's just not working. At first they thought, well, it's good enough to do it themselves, but good enough isn't good enough. It's not working, and so they're having to react to the situation of either deal with themselves being fired, or losing money, or watching competitors to increase while they themselves stand still, or worse, go under, all because the sales copy isn't working. And so now they're reacting to that pressure, which is trying more templates, trying more self-help methods, and these things just are driving them into the ground. And so at this point, they decide they're going to try to improve their skills, and they find my sales letter at longformsalesletters.com, and they realize that what they need is a training program that teaches them how to write their own sales letters. And so they purchase this product, they work through it, they use the scratch pad fully, but as they're going through the process, something happens. They're starting to feel like, yeah, I can do this, I can do that, but something happens. And that's where we put the high point. Explain their seeming bright future, seeming victory. In other words, their assured light at the end of the tunnel. They think and feel and believe they are approaching, and all intents and purposes, it seems they are about to achieve it. And so what happens? So they're using my course, and then they receive a notice. They have 5 days or 7 days to get this turned around, and at that point get their situation turned around, otherwise they're fired. They realize, wait a minute, I don't have 7 days, I don't have 5 days to go through this course, study the material, write the sales letter myself, do the research, go through all this stuff. I need somebody who's been there, done that. And so that's where they run headlong, face first, into the false victory of doing it themselves. As I mentioned, I'm not going to go into the rest of this, the rest of the 5 remaining areas, because I want you to go online and do it. But at this point, you have an idea of the 3 acts, and you have an idea of what type of situation you're running into. And so this is what I'm showing you from a copywriter standpoint. For me, myself, if I'm writing a sales letter to attract clients, these are the types of things that I might put in there. But your product or service, I know nothing about your product or service, so I can't tell you what to put here. You're going to need to determine this by yourself. Either that, or you're going to have to hire somebody to help you who's been there, done that. One way or another, you're going to need to come up with this information. And so if there was a way for me to complete this for you ahead of time, if I had a crystal ball, I would do that. But unfortunately, it's not possible. But instead, what I've done is laid the groundwork for you here to show you what you need to do to get the information to complete this emotional story that's going to pull at the heartstrings of your readers, listeners, and viewers.
Please return to the private members area at www.longformsalesletter.com/members to uncover how to resolve in sales copy the seeming setback. Plus download your bonus material explaining how to integrate your story into your sales copy. Next, please continue to module number 6.